Hello everyone, welcome back to another informative episode of Agri Words and Phrases. In this episode, we're going to talk about the word pesticide. Now, this is a very common word out there in the agriculture industry. Now, let us first define pesticide. What is a pesticide? Now, a basic definition of a pesticide is a product that kills pests, basically. Right? So let us break down the word. We are going to break it down in two, pest and side. Now, what is a pest? A pest is anything that causes discomfort, whether to you, to your surroundings, to your plants. As I said, we are going to stick strictly to agriculture and to crop production. So a pest would be anything that causes discomfort or kind of halter the growth and production of your crops, whether insects eating your crops, disease taking over your plants, or weed taking over your garden or your farm. So those are all different variants of a pest. Now let us look at the suffix side. Now what does side mean? Side simply means to kill. So when you put pesticide together, you get to kill a pest. Basically, to kill a pest. So it's basically a product that kills pests. So as I said, we are sticking strictly to farming, to crop production. So a pesticide would be anything that kills pests that affects your crops. So when it comes on to pesticide, or the term pesticide is basically a broad heading that other variants of pesticide falls under. An insecticide will kill insects. A molluscicide will kill snails, right? Slugs and snails. An herbicide will kill herbs or grass, vegetation, right? A fungicide will kill fungus, fungal problems that you normally have on your plants. A nematicide will kill nematodes, and you would normally find nematodes infesting your soil, or you can get infestation through water, and so on. So a nematicide kills nematodes. A rodenticide kills rodents, so your cockroaches, your rats, it kills those. So based on, as you can see, based on the name, the first part of the name, that is what the pesticide kills. So as I said, herbicide, herbs, grass, plant vegetation, that is what it kills. Insecticides kills insect. Rodenticide kills rodents. Fungicide, fungi, it kills fungus or fungi. Bactericide, it kills bacteria. Nematicide, nematode, it kills nematode. Right? So as you can see, you see the trend. That is how you basically differentiate them. Right? Let us get into more details. Now, what I've seen over the years is that some farmers, they go to the farm store and they do not know the difference. They do not know the difference between the different pesticides. So you will find that a farmer might go to the farm store and they'll need an insecticide and they will buy a fungicide instead. Right? Now you have to know the difference. Right? You have insecticide, fungicide, all these different kind of side. So you have to know exactly what is affecting your crop, whether it's a fungal issue, a bacterial issue, or an insect issue, or something of that sort. So when, say for example, you realize that you have whitefly. So whitefly is a very common one. If you realize that you have whitefly, then that is basically an insect problem, right? So if you go to the farm store, when you go to the farm store, you cannot just go to the farm store and say, "Hello sir, ma'am, can you sell me a pesticide?" No, they will not know what you're talking. Well, they know what you're talking about, but they do not know which one. So you'll find that they will ask the follow-up question: what kind of pest are you trying to control? Right? And then when you tell them, "No, look, I have some things biting up my plants," they will say, "Okay, maybe it's insects. So you need an insecticide, right?" And then they say, "Oh, you know that I saw some black spots, some spots on my plant leaf." Right? And then you say, oh, that might be a bacterial problem. Let me give you a bactericide. Right? Or if you have an here and say, "Look, what are you going to do with this pesticide?" "Well, you know, I'm going to clear down some land and I have some grass that I want to burn." They will say, "Oh, it's an herbicide." So you understand what I'm saying? So these are the differences that you need to know. You cannot have an insect problem and go to the farm store to get a fungicide. The fungicide will not kill the insect, right? So you'll find that you spray and it doesn't give you any kind of control. Another important thing that you need to understand is that when it comes on to pesticide, right, we have broad spectrum and we have some that are specific to certain pests, right? So when I say broad spectrum, I mean that there are insecticides and herbicides, right, out there that really controls, that has broad spectrum action. So if you have a wildfire problem and you realize that you also have a ladybug on your plant, which a ladybug is basically a beneficial insect, right? So you don't want to kill that one, but if you buy a broad spectrum insecticide, it will kill both the ladybug and the whitefly, right? So that is what broad spectrum means. It will, as it relates to insecticide, it will kill all insects that are on your plant, and it will not be partial against some and kill the others, right? But then now, and it's the same with herbicide, right? And the herbicide is basically, the broad spectrum herbicide will basically kill all type of vegetation that it comes in contact with. But then now you have selective herbicide and you also have selective insecticide, and these will basically target specific insects, that is the insecticide, and the herbicide will target specific vegetation. So whether it will, so as it relates to herbicide, whether it will kill broadleaf or grass, right, it varies, right? And then when it comes on to insecticide, you find that it maybe targets whitefly and mites, but does not kill other insects. So that is what I mean. Now let us move on to the mode of action of pesticides. There are two mode of action of pesticides. You have systemic and contact. What do I mean by this? You have some pesticides that kill their target upon contacting them. So as soon as the pesticide catches the target, let us say the target insect or the target vegetation, it kills it. It kills it upon contact. So when you spray it on the insect or you spray it on the vegetation or plant or whatever vegetation it is, it will kill it upon contact. And then you have some pesticides that are systemic. This normally happens as it relates to insecticides and herbicides. This normally happens by the plant absorbing the solution, that pesticide solution that you mix. It absorbs it through the roots and through the leaves and goes into the system, and it is translocated throughout the plant. So what happens is that with a systemic insecticide, it basically gives you a longer effect, or should I say it gives you a longer residual effect. So you find that it will keep away the pest that you are trying to get rid of longer. And what happens is that when it is basically on the surface of the plant or the insect, it is more exposed to environmental elements. So you find that you have a lesser residual effect than systemic. Systemic will go inside the plant, right? And of course it is protected from high radiation and all of that. So it stays longer within the plant, so you get a longer effect. So that would mean that you spray less when you use systemic. And the benefit of systemic pesticide is that, say for example, you have a tall tree or a big tree and you basically cannot get into the tree or on top of the tree to spray the entire tree, right, or the entire plant. You find that if you use a systemic insecticide, it will basically find itself to the, if you, like for example, you give it a root drench, right, it basically absorbs through the plant and it's translocated to all the parts of the plant. So you definitely don't have to go, try to reach above the tree, maybe it's a tall tree, to spray it, because the systemic insecticide is basically finding itself into the plant, translocated to all parts of the plant through the vascular bundle, right? And this is a good advantage. As it relates to contact, you definitely would have to find some way to spray those parts of the plant that you can't reach, because if with a contact pesticide, you definitely have to spray wherever you spray, that is where you'll get the effect. So if you leave out somewhere, it will not have an effect. The contact pesticide will not have an effect. So for example, if you have insects on your plant and you spray one area with a contact insecticide and you don't spray the other area where the insects are, those insects will be they'll be okay because it's a contact insecticide. Now if you use a systemic insecticide, systemic insecticide basically goes into the plant, and wherever the insects are, they basically, especially those insects that suck the sap of the plant, right? They'll basically get the most damage because they are sucking the sap, and the sap of the plant is where that chemical is basically flowing through the plant, right? So you find that when you use that systemic insecticide, even anywhere the insects are, they'll basically, be damaged by the systemic insecticide because it is being translocated to all parts of the plant. So this is basically the general idea of the pesticides and the difference, right? So now you understand what a pesticide is, and you know the different types of pesticide. So now you are more knowledgeable and you can go to the farm store and ask for exactly what you want. As I said before, just look on your plant and see what the problem is. Once you understand what the problem is, you go to the farm store and you ask them for what you need. As usual, please remember to leave any comments or questions in the comments area. And as always, and as usual again, please remember to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you again in another informative video. Thank you.